My sister stole my ex, manipulated him into leaving me, and now I'm left picking up the pieces. I honestly don't even know where to start, but I feel like I need to get this off my chest. I'm still in shock, and I need some perspective. So, for some background, I, 25F, was in a long-term relationship with a guy named Ben, 27M, for about 3 years. We had our ups and downs, but I thought we were solid. About 6 months ago, Ben and I broke up. Nothing major happened, but we just drifted apart. It was mutual, and we both agreed it was the best. At least, I thought it was mutual. Here's where things started to go off the rails. After we broke up, I leaned on my sister, Emma, 23F, a lot. We're super close, or at least, I thought we were. We'd talk about everything, especially how I was coping with the breakup. She was always there to listen, offering support and advice. Looking back now, I realized she was always too supportive of my breakup with Ben. Like, over the top supportive. She'd constantly tell me that Ben was never right for me, or, you deserve better. But I always chalked it up to her being a protective younger sister, trying to make sure I was okay. But what I didn't know was that, while I was venting and healing, she was planting seeds in Ben's mind. She started spending more time with him under the guise of being a good friend to him after the breakup. She'd send him long texts, telling him how he was such a good guy and deserved to find someone who truly appreciated him. She made him feel like I was the problem, like I had been holding him back or not appreciating him enough. At the time, I thought it was just Emma trying to stay neutral and support both of us. What I didn't know was that she was working her magic on him. Slowly, over the next month, Ben and Emma got closer, and I didn't even see it coming. She would invite him out to group events or casual hangouts, and I never thought twice about it. Why would I? They were friends, right? Fast forward to a few days ago, and I ran into Ben at a party. We talked briefly, and everything seemed fine, like nothing had changed, but there was this weird vibe between us. It felt off, like he wasn't fully himself. As I was leaving, he pulled me aside and asked if I knew about him and Emma. I couldn't have been more confused. What do you mean? I asked. Ben hesitated and then dropped the bombshell. He and Emma had been secretly dating for the past 2 months. I honestly couldn't process it. I was shocked, confused, and just completely heartbroken. I didn't even know how to react. Ben told me that he felt like he was being manipulated into the situation. He admitted that Emma had made him feel like he was too good for me, that I had been too focused on my career and not giving him enough attention, and that I wasn't appreciating the way I should have. Apparently, she convinced him that I wasn't the right one for him. So he let go of me. I couldn't even speak at that point. Emma had turned my breakup into something it wasn't. It was a mutual decision between Ben and I, but she made him feel like I was a villain in our relationship, slowly working behind the scenes to make him think he deserved someone better. And that someone better, it turns out, was her. Later that day, I confronted Emma, and she didn't even try to deny it. She admitted that, yeah, she had feelings for Ben, and once she saw how vulnerable he was after the breakup, she made her move. She even said, I knew you were over him, and I didn't want to see him alone, so I stepped in. He's better off with me. She told me she didn't want to hurt me, but she was just following her heart. I tried to explain how messed up it was, that she'd been manipulating Ben while I was trying to heal, but she seemed completely unapologetic. She acted like it wasn't a big deal, like I should just accept it. I don't know what to do. I feel betrayed by both of them, Ben for letting her manipulate him, and Emma for using our bond as sisters to get what she wanted. She's my sister, and I thought we had a connection that was stronger than anything else. But now, I feel like I've lost both of them in a way. I can't even look at her without seeing the betrayal. I don't know if I'll ever get past this. I don't even know how to process it. Am I overreacting? I feel like I've been gaslit and used in the worst way. Update. I can't even believe I'm writing this, but things have gotten a lot worse. After my initial post, I spent the last couple of days just trying to get my head around everything. I felt like I was in a fog, like I couldn't trust anything or anyone. Well, it turns out I really couldn't trust Emma. After I confronted her, she seemed to pretend like everything was okay, like I was being irrational. But things started to unravel even more. Yesterday, I found out something I never thought in a million years I would hear. Emma had been messaging Ben while I was still with him, even during the last months of our relationship. I don't know how I didn't see it earlier, but Ben had kept some of their messages. He was genuinely sorry for what happened, and he felt awful. He showed me screenshots of the text where Emma was practically throwing herself at him, telling him how perfect they'd be together, how she could give him everything I couldn't. She even told him that if he didn't see the love she had for him, he was blind. Apparently, Ben had tried to distance himself from her at first, but she would text him nonstop, convincing him that I was pulling away, that I didn't appreciate him, and that he needed someone who would truly care for him. And somehow, that was enough to break him down. I'm furious. I feel completely betrayed, not just by Emma, but by myself for not seeing this sooner. How could I have been so blind to the fact that my own sister was sabotaging my relationship from the start? But what's hitting me hardest is that she never once had the decency to talk to me about her feelings. She didn't want to hurt me, but she had no problem breaking us apart from the shadows. It's one thing to date someone after they're out of your life, but it's another to secretly manipulate that person while pretending to be your best friend. I've been thinking a lot about what to do next. Right now, I'm just taking some time for myself. I've been staying at my best friend's place because I just needed to get away from the drama and the toxicity. As for Ben, I'm not sure where I stand with him. He keeps apologizing and he wants to make things right, but I'm not sure I can ever fully trust him again. Part of me wants to tell him go be with Emma, because they obviously have some deep connection, one that I never knew about. But part of me still holds a grudge, especially since he was so easily manipulated by my sister. I've thought about confronting them together, but I know that would just turn into a mess. I honestly don't even know if I want either of them in my life right now. I can't help but feel like they both knew exactly what they were doing, and yet they still went ahead with it. I guess I'm just at a crossroads. I feel like everything I knew has been turned upside down. I'm not sure how to heal from this, or if I can ever see my sister the same way again. I don't want to make any rash decisions, but I really need some advice on how to approach this. Have any of you gone through something similar? How did you rebuild your trust in people after a betrayal like this? Update. It's been a few weeks since my last post, and I've been doing a lot of thinking, reflecting, and honestly healing. I want to give everyone an update on how things have been unfolding, even though it's still a bit messy. First off, I did what a lot of you suggested, and decided to take some time apart from both Emma and Ben. I needed to clear my head, so I stayed with a friend for a while and focused on myself. I've been focusing on my work, catching up with old friends, and trying to heal from everything that's happened. I won't lie, it's been a process and it's hard, but I'm getting there. Emma tried to apologize. A few days ago, Emma finally reached out to me. She sent me a long message saying she was so sorry and that she was devastated that I felt betrayed. She said that she never meant to hurt me, but that sometimes love is complicated, and that she was just following her heart. She tried to justify everything, saying she didn't mean for it to go as far as it did, but she felt a connection with Ben that she couldn't ignore. I didn't reply right away. I honestly didn't know what to say. I spent hours reading that message and tried to figure out if I could ever forgive her. She never mentioned the manipulation or the texts I saw between her and Ben, though. She just tried to play it like everything happened organically and that I was overreacting. It was like she was trying to downplay the whole situation. So I responded, and I was brutally honest. I told her that what she did wasn't following her heart. It was betraying me. I told her that she was emotionally manipulating Ben, and that was something I could never get past. I told her I didn't think I could ever trust her again. I also told her that while I appreciated the apology, it didn't change the fact that she had crossed a line, one that might be impossible to come back from. She didn't take it well. She was angry and tried to guilt-trip me, saying that I was pushing her away and that I didn't understand how hard it was for her to do what she did. She said, "I thought you'd understand because we're sisters, but I guess I was wrong." It felt manipulative, just like the whole situation had been from the start. After that message, I decided to block her on everything. Ben reached out again. I've been avoiding Ben as much as possible, but he reached out to me a few days ago. He wants to meet and talk in person, and I've been wrestling with the idea of whether or not I should. Part of me wants closure, wants to hear his side, and maybe get some sort of apology that feels genuine. Another part of me wants to cut him off completely, because I just feel betrayed by both him and Emma. I don't know if I can ever forgive him, but I can't deny that a small part of me still wants to understand why. Why did he let it happen? Why didn't he stand up for me sooner? I feel like I've been the last one to know what was really going on. I don't know if I'm ready to meet him, but I also don't want to close the door completely without at least trying to understand things from his perspective. My focus is on me. I've been getting back to the things I love. I've spent more time with friends, started working on personal projects I've put off for a while, and I've even started therapy. It's been eye-opening. I'm starting to realize that I don't need to tie my self-worth to my relationships with these people. I'm worthy of respect and honesty, and I don't need to settle for anything less. I've also started to distance myself from toxic friendships and people in my life who aren't healthy for me. I'm not just talking about Emma or Ben. I mean people who take advantage of my kindness, who don't respect boundaries, or who cause unnecessary drama. It feels good to have that space. What's next? I'm not sure where things go with Emma and Ben from here. I've realized that I don't owe anyone an explanation for my boundaries. If I decide to speak to Ben, it'll be on my terms. And as for Emma, well, I'm not sure if there's any going back. Maybe there will be one day, but I'm not there yet. She's the one who crossed the line, and I'm not about to let her make me feel guilty for protecting myself. Right now, I'm focusing on moving forward. I'm not going to let this situation define me or my future. Thanks to everyone who supported me through this. Your advice has really helped me. I'll update if anything else major happens, but I'm hoping that I'm on the right path now. Date. Okay, so a lot has happened in the last few days, and I really didn't expect to be back here writing this so soon. I need to process everything, and I thought it might help to put it down. Ben came over. I decided to meet with Ben. I've been thinking a lot about what I want moving forward, and part of me wanted closure, even if it meant hearing things I wasn't ready to hear. We met at a coffee shop, and it was so awkward at first. He looked the same, but there was something different about him. Guilt, maybe? He seemed anxious, like he knew he'd messed up, but wasn't sure how to fix it. The conversation started with him apologizing again, and it was honestly a lot of the same things I've heard already. He said he was sorry for hurting me, and that he'd been confused. But then he started talking about how he felt trapped in our relationship, that he didn't feel like I was really there for him the way I should have been, and that Emma made him see the truth. At first, I thought maybe I was just being defensive, but I could tell it wasn't just guilt. It was like he was still trying to justify what happened. He still doesn't get it. When I pressed him on what exactly he felt trapped by, he said that I'd been focused on my career and wasn't giving him enough attention. That hurt, because I did try, I really did, but he never communicated that to me. And the fact that he'd been talking to Emma behind my back, while I was trying to make sense of everything, just made me feel like he never truly cared about me the way I thought he did. What really made my blood boil, though, was when he said this. I know it's hard for you to understand, but Emma and I just connect in a way we never could. She listens to me. She makes me feel important. I felt this wave of anger wash over me. How could he say that after everything we'd been through? How could he diminish everything I gave him just because it wasn't enough for him? I'm not going to lie. I lost it a little bit. I told him that he was still blaming me for his actions, and that it wasn't my fault he let Emma manipulate him. I also told him I couldn't respect him anymore, and that our relationship had been nothing but a lie from the start. I said some things I regret, but I think I needed to say them. The worst part? He didn't even try to fight for me. He didn't apologize in a way that made me feel like he was truly remorseful. Instead, he just sat there, nodding like he expected me to just forgive him. Emma reached out again. Then there's Emma. Of course, she had to reach out again, right? This time, she sent me a message asking to meet up and talk things through. She said she didn't want us to be estranged forever, and that she wanted to be honest with me. To be fair, I don't think she expected me to agree right away. But part of me felt like I needed to hear her side of the story, even if it was to confirm everything I already suspected. I agreed to meet her, but only on my terms. I told her it would be in public. No texting or messaging me before the meeting, and no excuses. She agreed. The meeting, we met at a small park near my apartment. When I saw her, I couldn't help but feel a mix of anger and sadness. I've known her my whole life, and now I felt like I was staring at a stranger. She started by saying how guilty she felt about everything, but quickly shifted into her usual defense mode. She told me that she never meant to hurt me, but that sometimes love just happens, and she couldn't deny her feelings for Ben. She even said, "I thought you'd get it. I thought we'd be able to talk about this, and you'd see that I wasn't trying to destroy you." I had a moment where I just snapped. I told her that she wasn't just dating my ex. She was sabotaging my life. I said she'd emotionally manipulated me, made me feel like I was crazy for not trusting her, and that everything she said Ben about me was a lie. She didn't like that. She started crying and said that I was being unfair, and that she did love me, but she loved Ben too. When she said that, it hit me. I realized in that moment I could never trust her again. I thought I could forgive her, but hearing her justify everything with her own self-centered reasoning was the final straw. I told her I needed time, and that right now, I just couldn't have her in my life anymore. What now? So, yeah, I'm done with both of them. I'm done waiting for an apology that feels genuine or expecting any sort of reconciliation. As much as I love Ben and thought Emma would always be my sister, I can't keep going back to people who will only hurt me. I'm choosing me now. I'm taking a break from the emotional roller coaster and just focusing on what makes me happy. Maybe that means taking some time away from dating, or maybe it means learning to trust myself again before I open up to anyone new. But whatever happens, I'm no longer going to let other people's actions dictate my life. Thanks again to everyone who has been here for me through this. Your advice has helped me more than I can express. This is my final update for now.